guys, it's Mr. Leonidas here. Hope you're doing well. In this video I will be discussing carrying folding knives and particularly carrying two that complement each other and why. And basically this video is expounding on a previous one I did talking about my knife carry system where I carry up to 3 knives or 2 knives and 1 multi-tool. And the reason I decided to do this video is more and more, especially at work and urban environments, I find myself carrying up to 2 folding knives, and I've sort of set up my my carry methods to provide myself with 2 knives that complement each other. So I'll explain what that means later on in a few examples. And the reason I choose folding knives for a lot of these situations is because I do like fixed blade knives, and I find them very, very useful. They're very rugged type knives, especially if you have full tang fixed blade knives. But sometimes fixed blade knives can be a little bulky. They're a little hard to get on and off your person, you know, when you're changing clothes and things like that. And folding knives, they're just very discreet, compact, and lightweight, and much easier to carry on your person. So when I carry one, I usually carry up to 2. And I've got them set up to complement each other. For my first pairing of knives, these are going to be based on utilitarian and work type related functions, and I have the Spyderco Dragonfly 2 and the Spyderco Delica 4. I'm going to go ahead and take a really up close look at those knives for you. Alright, so I'm going to talk about the Dragonfly 2 first and some of its features. This model, really easy to find with its yellow handle, has a fully serrated blade. I did add a zip tie to give it that fast action draw, Emerson type wave. You're going to see those all over YouTube. It's a very easy thing to add on to any Spyderco type knife. Just drop it through the Spyderco hole and you've got yourself an Emerson wave function. Pretty nice. And like I said, this one's got a fully serrated blade, so it is a pretty wicked little little knife. To complement it, I have the Spyderco Delica 4. This model has a plain edge, and the Delica 4 is just a bit bigger than the Dragonfly 2. Alright, so how do these knives complement each other? You can easily tell one is simply smaller than the other. You have a larger knife and you have a smaller knife. That's a really good way to complement 2 folding knives. Instead of having just the same size, you don't have a repeat on that. You're going to have, you know, a smaller, more detailed blade, and then you're going to have a larger, you know, maybe of a heavier type blade. So in this certain pair up, I also have one fully serrated blade and one plain edge, and that's something I do with a lot of my pairing blades. Is I have one maybe fully serrated, one maybe a combo edge. So I have the smaller knife. I can do very fast, quick tearing cuts. You know, if I don't really care what's going to happen to what I'm cutting, you know, maybe I'm going to shred some cardboard real quickly. This is a great knife for that. You can do a lot of power on a tiny little blade like that and rip through some stuff. Like I said, maybe you're not going to care what it looks like when you're done. You have the larger Delica 4 knife, and you have a bigger blade, so you're going to get more slicing ability, and you're also going to have more precision because you have a plain edge. You're not going to just tear into everything and shred it, but you're going to be able to cut things more delicately. And it's just overall just a good knife. It's also easier, you know, to kind of hold in your hand, especially if you have larger hands. You know, I have fairly large hands. I don't really have much of a problem with the Dragonfly 2, but I do have to actually use that upper choil on the knife, which does give you a lot of power on a small little knife. So you give and you take, but I do get more of a grip on the Delica 4. So there's a few things to complement: size, blade style. You know, both of them very similar blade styles. You have kind of a leaf type blade on here, and then this is kind of a clip point type blade. So they're a little bit different. So you have that, and then you have your serrations and your plain edge. Those are good ways to complement knives. These next 2 folding knives are going to be based on self-defense functionalities. They're going to be carried in more urban environments. Maybe I'm going out shopping, going to the movies. These are knives I need to carry on my person that I can trust. They can be used in aggressive situations like that. And what I've got on me are the Spyderco Kahr Arms Delica and the Hoffner folding knife. We'll go ahead and take a really close look at those. first off, let's talk about the Spyderco Kahr Arms Delica. This has got the same handle scales, but the blade is chopped down. Like I said, it's a Kahr Arms version, and this is more of a self-defense knife. It's also a knife you can legally get into more areas because it has a shorter blade. Also, what you get from a shorter blade is a very aggressive smaller blade, because you have a very, very strong tip on here. You have a smaller cutting edge, but you can really get some good power cuts with this knife here. You have less chance of the blade getting caught up in anything, and it's just a very nice point on it, and just a very good knife to work with. And then I also have the Brian Hoffner folding knife. This is an awesome folding knife, spear point blade. It's got a pretty good length on it, so you got reach. It has the combo edge. All right, so what do these knives have in common? All right. So first off, one good thing that they have in common, it's going to differ from having a smaller and a larger knife, is their handle sizes are very similar. And to me, that's something that you really want in your self-defense knives. You can be, especially maybe you have to hand off a knife to a different hand, or do something a little different. Maybe have to go to left hand with something. It's good to have some similarities in the handle. And the Hoffner knife has got some more width to it. It's a little more beefy, but I can still get a full hand grip on both knives, and that's good. That's good. Okay, so something that different also that does complement is you have a bit of a thumb ramp. Okay, you can really get some good power cuts on here. Now with the Hoffner knife, it's a little bit more smooth all the way around. You can really rotate the knife a lot. It has these indentions here, these divots, and you can just kind of flip the knife around to different positions. You can do it probably a little quicker than with this Delica 4, so that's one way they complement. You got a thumb ramp here, you got some divots. Also another way, you got the shorter robust blade, you have a combo edge, and so there's some serrations. I've added that in. Also with this knife, like I was saying before, you get your extra reach, and that's very good with the self-defense knife. So on this one, you have extra reach with the Hoffner knife, but in the Spyderco, you lack some of that reach, but you can really get some good power cuts, some good striking with this knife. Very mean little blade, but also you have the combo edge on the Hoffner. So that's how these two knives complement each other. And some similarities, and you have some differences, but they both come together. Two very good self-defense type knives. The last two folding knives are going to be based on outdoor type activities like hiking and camping, going out, and I know what I'm doing. I have an agenda. And so what I've got here, I'm going to show you, are the Ontario Rat 1 and the Pole Force Mic 1 EOD. Go ahead and take a really close-up look at those. All right, so I'm going to talk about some of the features of the Rat 1 here. This is a fantastic knife, featured on YouTube a lot. This one has a combo edge, has just a very good ergonomic handle. That's one good thing about the Rat 1, very comfortable to work with. A good long blade, pretty thin blade, so it makes for a good slicing knife. Just overall, just a great knife for the price. You really can't beat it. It's a very inexpensive knife, and just love it. And then I have the Pole Force Mic 1 EOD. This is a tank of a folding knife. It's built extremely well. It's a very robust knife. I believe I can trust it with many heavy-duty activities. I for sure have on a lot heavier stuff like batoning and things like this. This knife can handle it. It has some really nice grip options, very thick blade on it, so it can really just tear through a lot of stuff. All right, so how do these knives complement each other? Okay, well, first off, the Ontario Rat 1 I have here has the combo edge. The Pole Force Mic 1 has a plain edge, so that's one good way. I have a knife that's really good for slicing and lighter tasks, a good utility knife. Then I have a knife here, the Mic 1, that's very robust. It's good for heavier stuff. It's actually not as good for the lighter slicing tasks, so that's certainly where they complement each other. I can get a lot of camp activities done with this, lighter camp activities, maybe food processing done with the Rat 1, and I have the Mic 1 over here. If I had to process some wood, this knife is certainly heavy duty enough to do quite a bit of good work for sure. So that's two ways. Both have really good handles that work very well. I can get a full grip on those. So it's good to have knives like that when you're going outdoors. You can get a full grip, especially no slip. These knives both have good texture on the handles. That's, you know, the good way to complement each other. You definitely want some good similarities as well when it comes to these knives, but they're just overall two really great knives, especially with the Rat 1. I would hate to lose it, but it's a knife, if I were to lose, it's certainly not the end of the world, because just great price points on these knives. But yeah, just really enjoy carrying these, and they both complement each other very well when I'm out. And I like folding knives, I like fixed blades. I seem to gravitate especially more towards fixed blades, especially when I'm outdoors. But like I said, more urban type carrying, I carry, at least 2 folding knives, so I thought it'd be great to talk about pairing that. And then sometimes when I'm outdoors, I am carrying up to 2 folding knives. You can get, you can get folding knives for every scenario. You can get fixed blades for every scenario, but I just kind of want to talk about why it's good to complement 2 folding knives. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's Mr. Leonidas signing out. As always, have a good one. Thanks.